What's up, guys? I want to make another quasi review. I call it a review again. Like I've said many times before, I use the term very loosely because this isn't the same, again, like I've said before, cookie cutter style kind of thing. It's just me talking about the knife, whatever comes to mind. I'm going to quit saying this eventually, I promise, but I guarantee you there's somebody out there that's going to say, well, you called this a review, why don't you know what I mean. No matter how many times you say something, somebody misses the memo. Um, Yesterday, I had a little bit of credit at the knife store, and it was $120, and I could have either gotten one knife like the Para 2, which I already have, or I could have gotten two knives like this one. Listen to it. I don't know if you know what that is. But I really like this knife. Pleasantly surprised by it. Really think this fits into the budget bliss category, where the CRKT shenanigan went. This blows the shenanigan straight out of the water. Kind of similar to the shenanigan. Hell, how would I even know if you guessed it? That was the stupidest thing I've ever done. I was going to ask you to guess the knife, and then I thought about it. How in the world would you have told me? Oh, God. It's been a long day. There's no possible way you could. What are you going to PM me before I upload the video? Anyway, Kershaw Blur. Super good knife for the $50 price tag, I think, somewhere right around $50. I say it's similar to the shenanigan because honestly they do look similar. Both Ken Onion designs, obviously. This one's made by Kershaw, the other one's made by CRKT, which Kershaw blows CRKT out of the water any day of the week. If you feel any different, then I'm not going to say that. You may feel differently. I don't know. If you do feel differently, I urge you to buy some Kershaw products. This knife, while I've only had it like a day, 24 hours, something like that, I've played with it pretty much constantly, cut with it a good bit, and I really like it. Gun Dude sent me a blur to sharpen, never got around to it. Had a really busy last couple of months with the wedding planning and school and work. But I did handle it and I did like it. It wasn't one of those that jumped out at me and said, wow, you really need to buy this. But I liked it. Saw this one at the knife store. The OD color really appeals to me. Wish it had a stonewash blade, but what can you do? It's just a really well built knife for the $50 price tag, right around 50. It does come with these rubber inserts, which if there's a flaw with the knife, it's these rubber inserts. They're great. They're grippy. They're comfortable. They have a warm feeling to them, but they will get dirty. They'll suck in dirt so fast it'll blow your mind, and it's hard to clean them. That's pretty much the only flaw I can find with a knife. The pocket clip is ugly. It's the same one as the Leak, I think. Hate the pocket clip. So the pocket clip and the inserts are the only things that I would change about the knife. And of course the blade coating, but that's not something really inherent to the knife. It's just this one. Really like the blade. The nice subtle recurve right here. It's ground extraordinarily thin. Hopefully you can see just how thin that is. I mean, it is extraordinarily thin. Look at that. And you see how thick the bevel is, given that the edge is so thin down there. That means that Kershaw really back beveled this knife nicely. It's probably 30 degrees inclusive. Has a nice even back bevel on it. So somebody that buys this knife stock will be able to keep it sharp on a sharp maker for a long time, which is good for most average knife users. It is speed assisted. Normally I don't like it. I don't mind it on this knife. one of those strange things. Normally I don't like speed assist, but it just kind of fits this knife. The way the thumb studs are angled, and it's just, it fits it. I don't know why, but it fits it. The thumb studs have this nice, ooh, that got dark. Thumb studs have this nice angle on them, as you can see right there. Your thumb just kind of plants right in there. You press up and it fires out. It's impossible to get this knife to fire slowly since it is speed assisted. You can kind of just nudge it out, but it still fires open when the spring takes over. I think the blade is so light, the spring is so strong. I mean, it still just flies open. Not a big deal, but you may want to pay attention to that if you're in public. Nice beefy liner lock. I really like the liner lock. It's done very, very, very well. As you can see, it's done right. Early lockup, no stick, mostly because it's steel on steel. But early lockup with a nice thick liner lock with zero vertical play, which a lot of liner locks don't have vertical play. It's hard to get a liner lock with vertical play. Overall, build quality is amazing, especially at the price point. You saw how fast the blade flies open. Even though I have the pivot cranked way down, the blade still flies open, and there is absolutely no blade play. I can't even muscle any blade play. You see how much I'm straining my hands. I can't get any blade play. And I love that. I love when cheaper knives don't have any blade play, because honestly, there are more expensive knives, not going to name names, that have trouble with blade play unless you really crank the pivot down. Now this one, actually both of these, once they broke in, they were ultra smooth without the blade play, but still, you would think for the price point they would come with none when this one can do it so well. I really like the handle shape. It has no funky curves, no crazy jimping, no super deep choils that your hand has to fit into. It's just a nice kind of everyman shape, and it just fits your hand really well. The contouring on the handles is really comfortable. Just the knife is extremely comfortable. There's no other way to say it. It just kind of seems to, it's not one of those knives that literally fits your hand like a glove, but your hand just seems to fit the knife extremely well. I don't like knives that are really, really contoured and all crazy, because in different grips, it sucks to hold it. This thing is comfortable to hold in just about any grip there is. So that's a plus. It is flow-through construction with nice standoffs. The pocket clip is tip up, tip down, but it's only right hand. There's really not much to say about this knife other than it's great. A lot of my viewers say they enjoy the lower end, not lower end, just more affordable stuff. So I figured this would be perfect. This is the best affordable knife that I've ever handled. The Tenacious is okay, but it doesn't have the same build quality as this, and this is made in the USA. So you can't beat that with a stick. It is hollow ground, as you could tell before. Super thin at the edge, like I mentioned. But you have nice substantial blade stock throughout the blade. The tip is very acute, very fine. So you wouldn't want to pry with it, which if you're using your knife correctly, you don't anyway. It will cut like a demon. This knife really cuts well. Just for EDC tasks, the recurve combined with the extremely thin edge, it's gonna cut pretty much anything you need it to cut, even if it's dull. Gonna get to that. The blade steel is 14C28N, which I don't particularly love. It is a respectable EDC steel. If you want to compare it to something, you could say it's similar in performance to VG10 and maybe some 154 CM. Both of those steels, when ran with a proper heat treat, can perform very well. So I don't want to say that this steel 14C28N will hold its edge as well as VG10 and 154, but it's not too far behind it. Let's put it that way. So it's a fairly respectable EDC steel. It's not going to go dull on you instantly, but it's not going to withstand cutting like M390 or something. So overall, I enjoy knives like this with the budget steels for EDC because they're just so easy to touch up and get sharp, and they do stay sharp. The ratio between sharpening time or honing time and usable life of the cutting edge is exponential. I mean, you can take 10 seconds to hone the edge back to beyond hair shaving sharp, and then you can cut with it for the next hour and a half. So you do get a lot of return for your honing time. Since I haven't used it a whole lot, I can't really say much else other than it's a great knife for the price. They designed this one to be a user. I mean, it's a cutter through and through. That super thin hollow grind combined with a recurve. I mean, it's meant to do work, and it'll do that very well. You'll have no problems with a liner lock. You'll have no problems with blade play, I imagine. It's just built really well, and it's made in the USA. And there you can see the centering is absolutely perfect. It's just refreshing to see a knife made this well at this price and still made in America. So I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy seeing that a lot. So anyway, forgot to mention the blade coating appears to be DLC, which we all know is tough as nails. You're not going to have any problems with that. It's not like Cold Steel's Teflon coating or anything. It's a really tough coating. It does feel exactly the same as Spyderco's DLC. So there's the model number in case you want to order this knife. I think this OD green and the desert tan just came out, so maybe hard to find. I don't know though. Anyway, perfect knife for the money. Perfect. Could not ask for more. Really comfortable. Great EDC knife. I could get away with carrying this probably for the rest of my life. It would, I imagine, as long as I didn't sharpen the blade away, it would last me forever. Sure, I'd change. I would put a few torsion bars in there after they break, but other than that, it's gonna last. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.